LeBron James' wife and 2 associates named in federal PED investigation story that just recently came out, and it's got a lot of people saying, is LeBron doing GH, his young growth hormone? Is this the Lance Armstrong story that's about to come out, and they're going to strip him of all these different accolades that he has?
If the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player. You're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
There's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing.
An MMA legend just dropped information so heavy it could shake the greatest basketball career of this generation. This wasn't some slip-up, and it definitely wasn't a joke taken the wrong way. Chael Sonnen, a man who understands performance enhancement better than almost anyone in pro sports, went on camera and said exactly what he believes LeBron James has been doing for years, with zero hesitation. And he didn't throw out some vague claims or loose talk. He walked in with details. He named the substances, explained how they supposedly work, and then said something bold enough to make any legal team sit up fast. He claimed they shared the same drug supplier. No, allegedly. No, someone told me. Nothing like that. He said it straight on camera with complete confidence. Statements like this don't just fade away. They follow careers. They show up in documentaries, debates, and highlight reels for decades. And the wildest part, LeBron hasn't said a single word in response. Nothin'. Before we get into what Sonnen said, you gotta understand why this moment hits way harder than the random rumors fans throw around every year. Chael Sonnen isn't some retired athlete chasing headlines. He's a former UFC fighter who competed with the best in the world, and he's always been brutally honest about the reality of performance enhancement in pro sports.
So, Bronny get a bucket on Bron right now?
Yeah, he can get a bucket on Bron right now.
Nope.
Yeah, he can get a bucket.
No way. Nope.
Man, come on, that little dude explosive, bro.
He is, but you seen his dad? His dad on that BallScope. He on that new
he
juice.
ain't sliding like he used to.
I don't care how you take care of your body, or rather, one of the ways you take care of your body. The fact that LeBron James has taken very few games off this season, not like last season, 2 seasons ago, when he mysteriously in the offseason lost like 30 pounds of muscle mass and didn't look the same and didn't play the same.
Paleo diet.
And then came back brolic and...
Is LeBron James on steroids?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. He invests like $1 million into his body every year, I think.
New evidence came out suggesting that the NBA tried covering up the link between LeBron and the biogenesis investigation.
I don't know what that is. That's a lot of big words.
It's like HGH, growth hormones.
Gotcha.
It's a little suspicious to me.
If you're playing for that long at that caliber of play, there's going to be questions.
He's jump shooting, he's driving, he's taking hits, he's dunking over people.
Yeah, there's always going to be questions. I think that he's just a different type of human, but I hope that this isn't true.
But no one's ever done it.
But the technology and the procedures like to maintain your body hasn't been this good.
While most athletes dodge the topic or act like it doesn't exist, Sonnen built his whole reputation around telling uncomfortable truths that most people avoid. He's been on every side of this topic. He knows how these substances function, why certain athletes use them, and how the supply networks work behind the scenes. He's not just talking from the outside. He's been directly involved in the culture, the process, and the conversations that happen in private. So when Sonnen speaks on performance enhancers, he's not taking guesses or repeating rumors. He's talking from his own insider experience. And that gives his claims about LeBron a completely different level of impact compared to comments from a podcast host or a jealous ex-player. This is why the sports world is reacting so strongly. Sonnen isn't out here trying to go viral or sell a new show. He's not stirring up hype. He's simply saying what he believes is fact, and that's what makes this situation dangerous for LeBron's legacy. When someone with Sonnen's background drops specific claims with this much certainty, people listen, fans listen, analysts listen, and suddenly the conversation changes from "is this possible" to "how long until somebody proves it?" That shift just happened, and it's not going back. So what exactly did Chael Sonnen say? He didn't toss out the word steroids and leave it at that.
Follows the big three. The big three is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to, but there's only one golfer that follows the big three. The big three is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time. It doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells. which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
More
quarter
red blood
just like
cells,
you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your
minute.
red blood cells. Okay, got you.
It's the king of performance enhancers.
Which Bron was better?
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat.
I'm going this Cavs Bron because this Cavs Bron had a 3.
Man, y'all crazy. Miami Heat
best
Bron
Bron we ever
was,
seen. I ain't gonna lie.
he was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real.
Now give me
like legit was on steroids, bro. I'm allegedly, but like he had to sit out. But y'all remember when they told him like they
There
gonna
goes the
start?
Clutch Sports allegations.
Y'all remember that though?
Nah,
When they was like he got everybody. They started testing for HGH, and they was like, yo, and he had to sit out. Like he said his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just I was in the league. I remember. And he came back in. He was crazy though.
Nah,
bro.
that might have been the best Bron, bro. At Miami,
Yeah, I
bro,
think so.
crazy.
He broke down what he described as an entire protocol, step by step. He called it the Big Three and explained each piece like he was reading out of a real playbook. He listed EPO, growth hormone, and testosterone. According to Sonnen, this was the Lance Armstrong diet, the same combination people say helped Armstrong dominate cycling before everything fell apart. And Sonnen didn't stop there, not even close. He explained why this specific combination hits harder than just muscle building or fast recovery. He said the real key was endurance. Being able to hoop at full speed the entire game without breaking down. He talked about maintaining explosiveness in the fourth quarter that looks just as strong as the first. In basketball, that's priceless. Let's break down what each of these substances actually does, because once you understand the science behind them, the accusations hit way harder. EPO, what Sonnen called the king of performance enhancers, boosts your red blood cell count, which means your muscles get a bigger supply of oxygen. More oxygen means your stamina shoots through the roof. You can sprint the full length of the court again and again without that burning fatigue slowing you down. You can still jump with the same power in the final minutes as you did during the opening tip-off. For a basketball player, especially one trying to compete at a superstar level deep into their 40s, this stuff would be priceless if the claims were true. It's the kind of edge that separates a decent role player from the absolute top performer on the floor. Growth hormone helps your body recover faster and keeps your muscle mass from fading as you get older. Testosterone does the same while also helping keep your energy high and your body strong and lean. Put all three together and you're basically giving your body a cheat code that most athletes could only dream about. Imagine recovering overnight from a game that would leave most players limping for days. Imagine holding on to strength and speed that naturally drop off once most athletes hit their mid-30s. Imagine being 40 years old, playing around 70 games, and still showing up in the playoffs looking sharp. Sound familiar? Because that's the exact level LeBron has played at year after year, breaking every expectation. He's been pushing past every natural sign of aging that has slowed every other NBA legend. Michael Jordan couldn't do this in his late 30s. Kobe Bryant couldn't do it either. Magic Johnson stepped away at 32. Yet LeBron, at 40, is still dropping all NBA numbers and playing more games than athletes half his age. According to Sonnen, this isn't just genetics or a high-tech recovery routine. It's the Big Three, as he described it. But here's where Sonnen's claims go from serious to absolutely explosive. He didn't just break down what LeBron is allegedly using. He said something that could carry real legal risk if it's not true. Sonnen claimed he and LeBron had the same drug supplier. Stop and think about that for a second. He's not saying he heard something from a friend of a friend. He's saying he personally used the same source he claims LeBron uses. That's direct knowledge. That's the type of statement you don't make unless you're extremely confident, because if it's false, the legal problems could be massive. But Sonnen still said it with full confidence, like he was talking about something he saw with his own eyes. And then he connected it to another huge name, Tiger Woods. According to Sonnen, there's only one golfer who follows what he called the Big Three protocol, and he says it's Tiger. Suddenly, this whole situation isn't just about LeBron. It's about the idea of elite athletes across major sports staying dominant long after the age when the body naturally slows down. Sonnen is describing a system that lives behind closed doors, a system insiders know, but nobody ever talks about on record. But now, Sonnen pulled the curtain wide open and showed the world exactly what he says has been happening. And once you hear it, you can't ignore it. Every time LeBron plays 40 minutes and still looks fresh, people are going to remember EPO. Every time he throws down a dunk on someone 20 years younger, people will think about growth hormone and testosterone. Every time he gets through a full season without breaking down, fans will remember Sonnen's breakdown of the big three. Sonnen says the evidence lines up once you look at it without emotion. LeBron is 40 years old in his 23rd NBA season, and he just played around 70 games last year at an all-NBA level. That's the type of performance that makes people ask questions, and that's exactly why Sonnen's claims are shaking the sports world. He went 71 for 71 on dunk attempts. Perfect, not one miss. Do you understand how wild that is for someone his age? Let's stack that up against every legend in NBA history and see how unusual this looks. Michael Jordan stepped away at 38 after averaging 19 points and clearly slowing down. Kobe Bryant's final season at 37 was tough to watch because his body just couldn't handle the grind anymore. Magic Johnson retired at 32 because his body couldn't keep pace. Kareem played until 39, but by then he was a role player averaging around 10 points per game. Every single legend has followed the same storyline, dominate in their 20s and early 30s, then slow down as the years add up. Their athleticism dips, their durability fades, injuries pop up more often, recovery takes longer, and their numbers drop. That's what real human aging looks like. That's biology. Your body wears down, your muscles recover slower, your joints get stiff, and that explosive power fades whether you want it to or not. But somehow, LeBron at 40 is still moving like he's in his prime. He's still one of the most athletic players in the league. He's still playing over 70 games a season. He's still throwing down transition dunks and finishing strong in the fourth quarter. He's still averaging around 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Like, time isn't even touching him. That level of longevity doesn't happen naturally, not in this sport, not in any era. It's something we've never seen before, and according to Chael Sonnen, there's a very simple reason behind it. But here's the twist. It's not just Sonnen saying these things. The pattern of people around LeBron and their connections to performance enhancers is tough to ignore. Look at Tristan Thompson, one of LeBron's closest teammates and longtime friends. In 2024, Thompson was suspended for violating the NBA's performance-enhancing drug policy. This is someone who's been deep inside LeBron's circle for years, training with him, seeing his routines, and knowing the people around him, and he got caught using banned substances. Then you've got Jeff Teague, the former All-Star, who went on his podcast and said LeBron was on steroids during the Miami Heat era. Teague pointed out a specific moment when LeBron took weeks off for a mysterious back issue, then returned looking totally different, leaner, lighter, almost like his whole body hit a reset button. Even Brian Windhorst, one of the most plugged-in reporters around LeBron, mentioned back in 2014 that LeBron suddenly took a 2-week break and came back looking sharper and quicker than before. That raised eyebrows then, and now with all these new claims surfacing, it hits even harder. Kevin Garnett has made comments over the years hinting that something might be going on behind the scenes that people aren't talking about. And now Chael Sonnen has connected all these dots using specific details and personal knowledge, which makes the conversation even more intense. When multiple people start making similar comments, and when the people closest to you keep getting caught up in situations involving banned substances, the smoke becomes tough to ignore. At some point, you have to wonder if there's a real fire behind all this smoke. And if there is, that fire could threaten everything LeBron has built over more than 2 decades in the league. What makes LeBron's silence so noticeable is the timing. These accusations are flying everywhere. Sonnen is out here making direct claims about sharing a drug supplier. Former players are hinting at steroid use, and one of his closest friends just got suspended for PEDs. And through all of it, LeBron hasn't said a word. LeBron hasn't said a single word. Nothing. No statement from his camp, no quick comment on social media, no interview where he addresses any of this. Just complete silence. But here's what makes it strange. He has responded to memes. His legal team actually sent cease and desist letters to people posting fake edited photos of him online, pictures making him look homeless, pregnant, or whatever wild Photoshop people were joking about. He took legal action against internet trolls clowning around, but he won't say anything when people accuse him of cheating his way to greatness. Think about how upside down that is. Someone posts a goofy meme and his lawyers jump on it instantly. Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen says they use the same drug dealer and suddenly everything goes quiet. That's not how someone fully confident in their innocence usually reacts. That looks more like someone who knows that speaking up could make the situation way worse. Because once you publicly deny something this serious, you're locked in. If hard evidence surfaces later that contradicts your denial, you're done, completely exposed. Your credibility gets shattered forever. But if you stay silent, you always have an escape route. You can say it wasn't worth responding to. You can pretend you ignored it because it didn't deserve attention. And your team can spin it as he doesn't respond to baseless accusations. That's not moral strategy, that's legal strategy. And this is where Clutch Sports comes in. LeBron's agency is plugged into the media world at every level. They represent stars, work with powerful networks, talk to podcasters, influencers, journalists, everybody. When a negative story starts picking up speed, they have the reach to make calls, apply pressure, and remind people of the access they could lose if they keep pushing certain topics too far. This isn't conspiracy talk. This is how modern sports media moves. Big agencies hold influence, and they use that influence to protect their biggest clients. So when Jeff Teague suddenly walked back his comments and said he was just joking, you gotta wonder, was that really something he decided on his own? Or did someone convince him it was smarter for his career to rewind that statement? And when other players who hinted at similar things suddenly go quiet, is that coincidence? Or is it pressure? Because the control over the narrative is real, and LeBron's team is better at that game than almost anyone in today's sports world. But here's the problem with trying to control a narrative in 2025. The internet doesn't forget anything. Once a clip is out, it's out forever. Chael Sonnen's interview is already everywhere. It's been saved, reposted, mirrored, clipped, and shared millions of times. You can't scrub it. You can't bury it. And once information like that hits the public, it starts reshaping how people view everything else moving forward. Now, every time LeBron does something wild for his age, instead of celebrating it, people start getting suspicious. Every time he plays through an injury that would sideline younger guys, instead of calling him tough, people wonder what he might be taking to bounce back that fast. Once doubt is planted, it grows on its own. It doesn't need help. And if even one piece of solid evidence ever surfaces, one person shows receipts, one investigation finds something real, the whole image collapses in an instant. That's what's really on the line right now. LeBron's legacy isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about whether he did all of this clean or whether performance enhancers have been part of the story the whole time. If it ever gets proven that these substances played any role in his longevity, everything changes overnight. The all-time scoring record? People will call it meaningless. The 4 championships? Fans will say they're tainted. Over 20 years of dominance? They'll put an asterisk next to every accomplishment. Look at Barry Bonds, one of the greatest hitters ever, but he can't get into the Hall of Fame because of PED ties. Look at Lance Armstrong, 7 Tour de France titles, all stripped. His legacy isn't built on victories anymore. It's built on accusations and denials. The documentaries aren't about how he won. They're about what he hid and how it all fell apart. That's the future LeBron could be staring at if Chael Sonnen's claims ever get verified. And maybe that's why the Lakers haven't rushed to give him an extension. Maybe that's why other teams are cautious, even though he's still producing at an elite level. Maybe that's why trade rumors keep surfacing despite his impact on the court. Front offices hear things the public doesn't. They talk to agents, trainers, insiders, and they pay attention when patterns look risky. If teams believe there's even a slight chance that LeBron's career ends with controversy instead of celebration, they're not going to tie themselves to a long-term deal that could blow up on them. So they treat him like a short-term asset, one more season, then walk away. No long-term promises, no big extensions, just a clean exit when the contract expires. That's not how you treat an untouchable legend. That's how you handle someone who might turn into a liability if the wrong truth comes out. Chael Sonnen just opened floodgates that aren't closing. By going public with specific claims and what he says is personal knowledge, he gave everyone else permission to step forward. The quiet whispers that floated around NBA circles for years can now turn into open conversations. More former players might feel comfortable sharing what they've seen or heard. More insiders might decide that telling the truth matters more than keeping access. And now the media can finally treat this like a legitimate story instead of brushing it off as some fringe theory. Everything shifted the moment someone with credibility said out loud what people have been whispering for years, and once that shift happens, you can't reverse it. The questions get louder, the skepticism grows stronger, and unless LeBron has absolutely flawless protection around whatever he's doing to keep his body in top shape, something could eventually leak, and if it does, it changes everything. These next few months are crucial. LeBron is stepping into what might be his final season. The Lakers are acting like they're preparing for life after him. Trade rumors won't stop. And now, because of Chael Sonnen, the performance enhancement conversation has taken on a level of detail and seriousness it never had before. This isn't some random blogger tossing out accusations. This is an MMA veteran who understands this world saying, I know what he's doing because I've been there. That's a completely different type of allegation. And if even one piece of supporting evidence pops up, one document, one source with direct knowledge, one slip that can be verified, the entire narrative around LeBron James could be rewritten overnight. Not as the greatest of all time, but as the biggest fraud in basketball history. History always has a way of showing the truth eventually. Secrets don't stay buried forever. People talk, records exist, and the more famous you are, the more eyes are watching. LeBron has been one of the most visible athletes on the planet for over 20 years. If there's anything to uncover, someone will uncover it. And if that day ever comes, Chael Sonnen will go down as the person who tried to warn the world. The one who spoke up when most people stayed quiet. The real question isn't if the truth comes out, it's when and whether LeBron's empire can survive whatever gets revealed. And when this story keeps unfolding, make sure you're here for it. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what comes next. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.